So today I'm going to be taking a look at a brand new Honor phone. I've got the new Honor X6b, a budget phone available now on Amazon for about 100 quid. So I'm just going to unbox the phone, set it up and go through a few of the features of the phone ahead of my full review, which I will be dropping in a few weeks. So subscribe so you don't miss that video. But in the meantime, check out my Honor X6 video that I did a couple of years ago if you're interested in that phone. Let's get into it. Okay, so here is the new Honor X6b. It's been out for a few months and it's available on Amazon for about 100 quid. Flat box, so unsurprisingly, no charger in the box. But I am still curious what is. Oh, nearly cut my hand off. It's not a good start. Didn't even cut that side. Wow, this is going really bad. Let's try again, shall we? There we go. So on top you get the phone. I've got it in black this time because I normally go for the greens and the blues, but I thought I'd go for a different colour. Set the phone aside, and then in the meantime, in this little packet, you just get your paperwork and your charging cable, and then you get a SIM ejector tool. After 2 years, you'd think I'd get that right, but apparently not. So just pop that aside. Oh, and I will be doing an unboxing and review of the Honor 200 Lite as well. So subscribe so you don't miss that one out. But here is the Honor X6b. I have done a video on the Honor X6, the standard one, if you're interested in that, like I said before. All plastic build, unsurprisingly. And then you just get a single 50 megapixel main camera on the back. And then that's backed by a depth or macro camera, one of the two. Either way, they're pretty useless. And then on the right, you get your volume rocker and power button with integrated fingerprint scanner. At the bottom, you get a speaker grill, USB-C charging port, microphone, and 3.5mm headphone jack. On the left, you get your SIM tray, and then on the top is just another microphone. I mean, to be honest, this does look like a really nice and well-built phone. It's nice and smooth. I like the fact that it's not a glossy back. I'm not going to attempt to peel that off just yet. Of course, you get an LED flash up there and some weird little aperture sort of logo there. AI camera, f1.8. So let's just turn the phone on and see how we get on. Okay, so the phone did eventually boot up. It was a little bit slow. Then we can just go through just the standard bits and bobs to get the phone all set up. Skip putting my SIM card in. I will do that at some point. Any Wi-Fi? No Wi-Fi? There we go. Okay, so just put the Wi-Fi in. Checking for updates. So as this is a new released phone, it came out in June. It's running Android 14 with Magic OS version 8 on top. You got a massive 5200 milliamp hour battery squeezed inside this little phone with a charging speed of 35 watts. So for a budget phone, that's pretty good. Most of them cap at 15, 18 watts, something like that. But the fact you get 35 watts on this is a really nice addition. Okay, so I've just put my Google information in. Now it's just going to go through the next few bits of the setup, just getting a few bits ready. So as you can see on the display, you get some chunky bezels as to be expected from a phone at this price. You get the sort of aging dewdrop display design at the top. There's no punch hole on this one. And that is just a very basic 5 megapixel selfie camera. So have your expectations set accordingly that you're not going to get particularly great performance from that selfie camera, but it'll be enough for just video calling and that sort of stuff, if that's what you're into. For these sort of phones, I tend to, if I need to take a selfie, I tend to just use the main camera and just flip it around, because you're going to get yourself a much better result. So I'm just accepting all these terms, etc. I'm just going to skip logging into my Honor ID. And I will skip those. I will do the fingerprint in a second. And then just enable all the services. Do that later. System navigation. So it gives you the option straight out of the box to either select gestures or the 3 keys. I'm happy using the gestures. And there we go. So that's the Honor X6b straight out the box. No apps tray to begin with. That's something that you can obviously add eventually. But if I just jump into the settings, and then you just get all of the usual bits that you would find from an Honor device. So your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth settings, your mobile network settings, which of course for me isn't going to come up with anything because my SIM card's not in it. More connection options. So you've got NFC for your contactless payments, Honor Share for wirelessly sharing between different devices, wireless projection for mirroring your phone onto a TV, something like that, Android Auto, VPN if you want to set all that up, and then of course your home screen style, which is the usual bits and bobs that you'll find. You can change the layout of your icons, etc. You can change the icon size, and then out of the box I tend to add an apps drawer, and then it'll just take a second or two just to sort that out, tidy it all up a bit. The home screen is as it was, as is that, but of course you do get the option of your apps there, and then you can delete all that off there if you want and just have everything focused on that area there. So jumping back into the settings and go in display and brightness, you can of course set your dark mode, and you can auto switch between dark mode, so you could have light mode during the day and then dark mode towards the evening. Eye comfort mode, which of course is the turning off the blue light, so it's a bit easier on the eyes, or you can schedule it at certain times. I won't do that just yet. Font settings, so you can change the size of the text, etc. And then same with the display size as well. If you want it a little bit bigger, or if you want it a little bit smaller. In the middle is fine. Don't need to change that. Color temperature, so you can set the colors to normal or vivid, and then you've just got sleep the screen if you're not using the phone, and then you've got your refresh rate. You can change it to standard 60 Hz to save a bit of power, push it to 90 Hz all the time, or just have it dynamically switch between 60 and 90 depending on what you're doing for optimal battery performance, and then display cutout bits, etc. And then you've got the usual sound and vibration options, nothing too exciting there. Notifications and status bar. Magic Capsule, which is Honor's version of Apple's Dynamic Island. So if I just quickly, so you've got it set for clock. And apparently the phone's freezing up. Right, clock. So if you set a timer for 5 minutes, apparently that didn't work. I'll have a play around with it and then I'll add it. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's paused. Let's try and play that again. Oh, there in the end. Of course, it's not going to be as fluid or as intuitive as Apple's Dynamic Island, but it is just another feature for a budget phone, which is quite nice. So then if we just jump into biometrics and passwords, this is where I will set a fingerprint ID, add a pin first. And then to begin with, it will give you the options of what you want the fingerprint ID to do. So yes, unlock the device. And then it will just prompt you just to add your thumbprint, move your thumb around so you catch all parts of your thumb, including the edges, which it then prompts you to do afterwards. So just literally do all parts of your thumb, even if you don't think that part of the thumb is ever going to likely to touch the fingerprint scanner, it will help increase its accuracy. So then you can set it to do other things, access safe, access app locks. If you don't want other people going onto certain apps, you can have that only with the use of your fingerprint scanner and not the screen. When you rest your finger on there or press the button, resting the finger is enough. I mean, it's not the fastest. Maybe it's because I had the... No, definitely not the quickest fingerprint scanner on the market, that's for sure. Which is disappointing because most capacitive ones tend to be pretty quick. And then you can go into individual app settings. It decides it wants to load. And tinker around with all of that. And then you've just got the usual battery settings where you can tinker with power saving mode, where you want the battery percentage, you can have it inside the icon, outside, etc. And then a few other bits as well. And then all the other bits like their, is it yo-yo assistant? Something like that, I'm not going to go into that. And then accessibility features, etc. And then just jump into system and updates, software update. So we're up to date, Magic OS version 8, and it's on Android 14. And then this is where you can quickly get to your system navigations if you want to change between the gestures and the 3 buttons at the bottom. But I'll stick to the gestures. No, I don't want a tutorial. And then if I just quickly jump into the camera and take a few sample shots of the Honor 200 lights box. That's about all that's here. There's a candle as well, which we can picture off. So as you can see, the phone is a bit stuttery. It's not the fastest. And then there's the Honor 200 light box. Now the phone comes with the MediaTek G85 processor. It's one that's been going for a while. It's quite old. And as you can see with the odd stutter here and there, it's definitely not the fastest on the market. But I will be covering a little bit more on that in my full review. So that's just my look quickly at the Honor X6b. Overall, the design looks really nice. I do like this gold accent around the camera housing. But subscribe if you want to see my full review on this phone. It's coming in the next few weeks. And I'll see you in the next one.